Hello, welcome back to Make a Move with Jess. Today we're going to be doing some exercises to work on our balance and a little bit of core strength. So what you're going to need today is either a chair or a countertop, something sturdy that you can hold on to or have nearby in case you need to support yourself for a little bit of balance, or you can be even beside a wall. All of these exercises can be done at home. You don't need any other equipment other than a support. So let's just get right into it. So the first exercise that we're going to do is just a narrow stance. I'm going to give you options that range from beginner to a little bit more intermediate, so you can choose whatever one feels comfortable for you. If you ever feel too off balance or uncomfortable with doing an exercise, I recommend not doing that exercise or taking the more beginner option. We obviously don't want anyone falling at home. This is to improve your balance to avoid any falls from happening. So for our first exercise, we're going to come into a narrow stance as an option. So feet are coming right together, again, holding on to that support if you feel like you need it. Now we really want to feel like throughout all of these exercises that we're engaging our stomach muscles or our core muscles. This is actually going to help us with our balance. And I want you to feel like you are standing up as tall as you can, like a string is attached to the top of your head up to the ceiling and it's pulling you up nice and tall. So beginner option here is just to hold this here with just your feet together. By coming into a narrow stance, it narrows our base of support, which makes it a little bit more challenging for some to balance. If this is a little bit too easy for you and you're not having any issues with balancing, then I want to invite you to try closing your eyes. Now by closing your eyes, it makes it a little bit more difficult to balance, so I want you to hold on to that support and have it nearby in case you need it there. So either eyes open, narrow feet, or you can try closing your eyes only if that's a comfortable option for you. So let's try to hold this either anywhere from 5 seconds to 10 seconds or more, really just whatever you are comfortable with. So let's try to hold it here for as long as you're able. You can have your eyes closed or open. And if you had your eyes closed, let's slowly open them. So you can repeat all these exercises as many times as you'd like. I recommend 2 to 3 times, and then you can move on to another exercise. Obviously, you're going to want to progress your time that you hold these balance exercises. So if your balance isn't so good, you might even start with just a few seconds if you're feeling pretty off balance, and you might progress to feeling a little more comfortable, being able to hold it up to 10 seconds, and then progressing of not even holding on to a support. The next progression to this exercise is holding a one-leg stance. So if you're not comfortable to do this yet, I want you to stick with that narrow stance. But we can try a single leg stance. So either bringing up one foot either at the ankle, or if you're feeling pretty good, it can even come a little bit higher up towards the knee. Now you can see I might start to waver here. I always want you to have that support, and you're just going to try to hold this as long as you're able to. So either maybe up to 5 seconds, maybe up to 10 seconds, squeezing that core up nice and tall, and then we can slowly lower it down and we can try the other leg. So you might need to turn around to use your support on the other hand, or you might have a support on both sides. So let's try the other side, either holding on, or if you're feeling really good, a little more intermediate, then you might not need to hold on. Always can tap your fingers down on that support to help you, and bringing it down. Good. Let's try it again on each side. So either here at the ankle, or here, or again, staying in that narrow stance if that is what works for you. So if you are coming onto the one leg stance, I want you to really feel like you're pulling up in this supporting leg. We don't want to sit in our hip. We really want to pull up nice and strong in that hip. Good, let's try to hold it for 3, 2, 1, and coming down. Of course, you can hold it for longer if you need to. Let's try the other side again. Again, nice and slow, bringing that one leg up, supporting yourself by pulling up in that hip. Good, holding it for as long as you need to, maybe touching the support if you need. 3, 2, 1, let's come down. Now, another progression to the one leg stance, instead of just holding the foot up, from that one leg stance, we can try to incorporate some movement with that leg. So we can start to kind of kick that foot forward while balancing, then bringing it in. We can even bring it out to the side, bring it in, and even bring it to the back and bring it in. So you might want to experiment in trying to kind of very lightly throw off that balance in different directions. You could even maybe slightly cross over and coming down. But again, if the one leg stance just holding is enough for you, then I would stick with that and make sure you feel more comfortable with that before you start adding any movements. Of course, you can also incorporate the upper body while you do the lower body. So you can maybe do an arm and a leg, bring them both in, bring them both out to the side, bring them in, maybe push your foot backwards and your arm forwards and bring them in and down. You're also really going to feel like you're getting maybe a bit of a core workout as well as a lower body workout for those one leg stance movements. Another exercise that we can try, which I'll give you a couple options for, is called tandem stance. So what that is, I'm going to show you from the side, is our more intermediate version for a tandem stance is putting one heel to the other toe, sort of like so your feet are right in front of each other, again narrowing our base of support. So if this is a little too challenging for you, you feel like you're walking on a tightrope, it's a little too much, you can always have a little gap in between those feet. Again, holding on to a support, so either heel and toe are touching, or give me a little gap for a little bit more of a beginner. So again, we can hold this here in this narrow stance for as long as you can. Again, maybe 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds or more. And relax. Good. So we can try that on the other foot going forward after. So switch the feet, the other one goes in front, and you can hold it just the same. A more advanced option, if you are progressing and you're feeling like this becomes pretty easy for you, you don't need to hold on to the support. Again, just like we did in our narrow stance, you can close your eyes. So you can always give yourself that little bit of a challenge, but always make sure that you're holding on to the chair or have it right there just in case. Good, let's relax. Now another progression to this, instead of just holding the tandem stance, is that you can actually take it into a tandem walk. So I'm going to show you just walking this way. So you're going to pretend like you're walking on a tightrope. So this is a little more intermediate. We're going to walk heel to toe, one in front of the other. Again, make sure you're maybe beside a wall or you have your chair right nearby. However much room you have, maybe 3 or 4 steps. Then if you're comfortable, you can start going backwards. Now if this is way too hard for you, you're feeling way too off balance, instead, I just want you to slowly turn around and you're just going to continue walking forward the other way. Great. Now, of course, for that tandem walk, make sure that you have a clear path and that you're not going to trip over anything, or that you're on a surface that your foot isn't going to catch on. Great, so we're gonna go to another exercise that again has some beginner or more intermediate options. So I call these clock taps. So you're going to picture a clock on the floor and you're going to picture whatever leg you start on, either going counterclockwise or clockwise. So I'm gonna start with my outside leg from my support. So this is my left leg. I'm going to picture each time on the clock. So I might have 12 o'clock here, then going counterclockwise, I have 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and so on. Now, a little bit more beginner, I just want you to pick 4 or 5 points or numbers that you're going to be hitting. So you don't have to hit every single one. You can maybe just choose to go forward, maybe side, diagonal, and backwards. So maybe just choosing a few of them. So what I'm going to do, this is some unilateral work. So we're on one supporting leg. So I'm going to, beginner option, tap my toes at each time on the clock or each point. So I want you to try to get around that half of the clock and then you can start again. So a little bit more intermediate is that you can hold that toe off the floor. This takes a lot more balance, so have that support nearby and then starting again. So you can see how this would take a lot more balance. You can always tap the toe down if you feel a little off balance and coming back to the center. Good, then obviously we would try it on the other side. You can switch your support to be on the other hand. And again, we would choose some points to either tap through the half of the other clock or hover that toe over each time. Again, for this exercise, you want to feel like you're pulling up in that supporting hip. So let's try it again one more time together. Let's start on one leg. So we're either tapping each time or hovering that toe. Good. So you can have your arms out on your hips or on the support. So I recommend maybe try this anywhere from 3 times in a row or a little bit more if you want to challenge yourself. You're also going to feel this leg really strengthening to really keep you balanced. Let's finish this one here and down. Good, let's try the other side. You can switch your support or you might already have one on that side. Let's try the other side. So I'm going to hover my toe because my balance is pretty good here. But if you're feeling off balance, make sure that you're just maybe tapping the toe to start and holding onto the support. Good, let's try it a couple more times. Going all the way around that half of the clock. Good, and going at your own pace here, so you don't need to go fast. You can tap them nice and slow. Last one here. And down. I'm going to show you one more exercise and a balance exercise. So we're actually going to be strengthening at the same time as our balance exercise. And I want you to use a support for this one, maybe a countertop or a chair, just like me. Now this is actually going to be coming up onto our toes, so kind of into a calf raise. So obviously beginner, you can start just hovering those heels off the floor on both feet. So I'm lifting both of my heels up and really squeezing my core, thinking of being up nice and tall. Either holding on with both hands or one, and you can just again start holding it there anywhere from a few seconds to up to 10 or more. And then you're also going to feel your calf muscles working and you can slowly lower down. So you can also even incorporate some shorter calf raises and then try holding maybe on the 3rd one or the 5th one and then slowly coming down. So that'd be a little bit more of a beginner option. If you feel very comfortable coming up onto your toes, maybe only lightly holding onto a support or not even at all, and you feel like you can hold it for a few seconds, another option is to just hold it for progressively longer and longer, maybe up to 10 seconds or more, and slowly coming down. So it's also going to be more challenging the more narrow that your feet are versus having a more wide base of support. You can even experiment with where your feet are. Maybe you want to stagger them, one in front and one back, or trying it the other way. You can really experiment with what side you might even have better balance on. A lot of us maybe favor or have a stronger right side or left side, so you can really see where maybe some imbalances are as well. Alright, so those are just some balance exercises that you can try out at home. Make sure that you always have a support nearby, even if you think that you feel comfortable, just in case, just to have it there. You don't want to have a fall at home. And make sure you're taking the options that you feel comfortable with. I would rather you start with the more beginner options and slowly progress up to those more intermediate and advanced exercises or options. So let me know if you try these at home and let me know how they go. You can comment down below. Make sure you like the video and hit the subscribe button down below so you can keep up with when I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.